Good evening and good thanks for joining us. This is Family Matters. Every Sunday this conversation happens, and the most important bit is to ensure that, number one, you don't just have information, but you are empowered, because information is power. Tonight our conversation is largely centered on the kangaroo mother care, like I already said earlier, and this obviously is applied when a baby has been born prematurely. What is known so many times, or what is popular out there, is the incubation period. But the doctor we have on set tells me it's a much effective and better way of bringing up a premature child as opposed to incubation. So before we do that, very quickly, like I said, we have babies in studio. I would want my director to show you those two babies that are seated on the other side of the studio. That's their mother, Glorious, and of course also a relative there, and the two babies you see there. They were born prematurely, but then through the kangaroo mother care, as you can see, the babies are quite healthy and looking dazzling as ever. Those two little gifts out of the kangaroo mother care system. The babies are living, and most importantly, they are healthy, as you can see on the particular set. Let me bring you to this other end where I am joined by a panel. I have Dr.Christine Manyasi. Thank you very much, Dr. for joining us. I also have Victor Otieno, who is a father to those two beautiful babies there and was an active participant in the kangaroo mother care. He will be telling us about his experience. And then you have also Bella Nyamamu. And again, I would say the pioneers of this program. Thank you very much, Bella, for joining us. I think I will start with you, Dr. Why kangaroo mother care?
Maybe before I answer why, it would be important for me to highlight.
Yes.
To put it into perspective. Now, in Kenya, we have about 183,000 babies born prematurely every year. And out of those, we lose about 8,000 babies who are born prematurely. We have tried in the last few decades to bring down child mortality in Kenya. And so far we've done very well with the older children. If you look at our under 5 mortality, it's come down very well from around 115 per 1,000 live births to about 52. The one for the infant mortality has also come down by about half. By the babies who are born up to the age of 28 days, we've not done much. We were losing about 33. We are losing about 22 out of 1,000 live births. So we've not made much progress. And a big chunk of those are preterm babies, born 37 weeks and below. Now, the interesting thing about these babies is most of the time they don't need much. They just need to be protected to grow, to be assisted to feed and to grow. And that is where kangaroo mother care comes in. Kangaroo mother care basically means keeping these babies warm in a more natural environment that is easy and much cheaper, and helping them survive much better than they would have if we kept them in the incubator.
And you will be demonstrating to us exactly what we mean by that at one point.
Yes.
But let me come to you, Bella, because you're a pioneer and an advocate of the kangaroo, mother care. What inspired you to get into this?
Okay, number one, I would say inspiration from some countries in Africa. So number one, kangaroo mother care is not an entirely new concept. It started way back about 39 years ago in Colombia. In countries in Africa, South Africa and Malawi have been doing it for like 20 years now. Kenya...
This Malawi down here?
Yes, 20 years. So in 2014, Save the Children decided to work with the county governments. But what inspired us, or rather what triggered us to do that, was the fact that there was a survey that was conducted, I think in 2013, that showed the number of deaths of children below the age of 5. And especially the ones who are born, like the newborn babies. Bungoma County was one of the counties that had the highest burden at the time. So being Save the Children and having the mandate of ensuring that children have a healthy start, that's what inspired us. So we decided to start with Bungoma County, work with the county governments, and then with the fact that most hospitals do not have enough incubators, and you have some babies born prematurely, and they don't have any other, like diseases, so they are stable premature babies. Then what's the need of them staying in an incubator? So learning from countries like Malawi, we then worked with the county government to introduce Kangaroo Mother Care, which has done very well.
Fantastic. And of course, we'll be talking even about the effectiveness, particularly when it comes to places that don't have these facilities as hospitals or incubators for that matter. But Victor.
Yes.
Thank you for joining us tonight.
Thank you.
Tell me, when were your babies born?
Yeah, my babies were born on the 16th of March this year. Yeah.
Can you reduce on your basis?
Yeah, what I'm saying is that my babies were born on 16th March of this year.
16th of March this year?
Yeah.
And they were born prematurely?
Prematurely.
How old?
How old as in?
Like they were born
month.
at what month?
I think it was at around 35 weeks.
Oh, 35 weeks.
Yes.
All right. And for you, obviously, some of the pictures that you'll be seeing running on the screen are Victor doing the Kangaroo Mother Care himself.
Yes.
Tell me, when you were going to the
Father
hospital,
care.
obviously you were hoping to come back with your babies and the mother. But then here you are, your babies are premature, and then you're being introduced to the Kangaroo Mother Care. First of all, did you know what Kangaroo Mother Care was by that time?
Not at all.
You hadn't?
I didn't know what Kangaroo Mother Care is all about. I didn't know at all.
So for you to be told to carry your babies to the bosom, how did it feel?
Okay, first I remember when I was being called by Sister Mary Kayumbi. I was at home at that time. I was preparing maybe to go and take my wife from the hospital, bring them back home. But to my surprise, I was told the babies cannot leave the hospital because they were born prematurely. So you will have to take some of your time, spend some of your time with them in the hospital. I really welcomed it because these were my children. They were my first children. So when I was told that I had to, I personally take the responsibility. I didn't have other option but to just do what I was told. Yeah.
Tell me, by this time your wife cannot be able to administer the Kangaroo Mother Care.
Yes.
What had happened?
Yeah, this happened because my wife was she underwent the cesarean section.
Okay,
yes. So for her it was very difficult. So I had to take the responsibility myself. Yeah.
Wow, did you feel like you were in a new world, like you had been introduced to something you had not anticipated?
Okay,
first. Because here you're being told to carry, because obviously normally is you're expected to take your wife and your two babies, healthy for that matter, to your home. But here you're being told that you're going to spend some time in the hospital with your babies at your bosom. How did it feel?
Yeah, first let me say I want to say thanks to the Mbagathi Hospital. Because before I started Kangaroo, they talked to me, they told me what Kangaroo was all about. So it was something I found now as very easy because they trained me on how to do it. So I was trained first. They told me every bit of it. So from there I said, no, there's no problem. Yeah.
And obviously the sounds you're hearing in the background are the two babies we are talking about, the ones we're making reference to, with their mother again on the other side of a studio. So those shrieks, you're going to have them up until when we're done with this program. That's the beauty part of, these children. Daktari, how premature is premature?
Now, any baby who has reached viability, and that definition differs from country to country, but for our country, we consider that as a baby who has completed 28 weeks of gestation. So that up until 37, so a mature baby is one who has completed 37 weeks in the mother's womb. So any baby born below that is considered premature. And so that is the scope of the babies we would like to bring under Kangaroo Care. And just to correct, we have been doing this as Kangaroo Mother Care, but now we have Kangaroo Father Care.
Okay.
Thanks to Victor here and many other supportive fathers. So it's not just mother care. A lot of research has been done, and so far it's sort of been biased towards the mother, but there is all the benefit to have the father share in that journey. And basically anybody who is close to this family can do kangaroo care. It can be the grandmother, it can be the father, it can be the auntie, and
It doesn't have to be the mother.
no.
Okay.
There are some specific benefits when it's done by the mother, but that does not negate kangaroo care being done by any other member of the family, because we want to maximize how long this baby is kept in kangaroo position, because the longer the better. And we want this baby to stay in kangaroo position for up to 24 hours a day. And like I will demonstrate how to position the baby, that baby can be fed in the kangaroo position, can sleep in the kangaroo position. Mother can wash her dishes and do her housework with the baby in kangaroo position. There's a very small scope of things she cannot do while she's doing kangaroo.
Sleeping?
Yes, she can sleep.
Oh, she can?
Yes, and in our facilities we do that.
An entire night?
Yes.
What if she's tempted to roll over? Because it's sleeping, yeah?
I think maternal instinct protects you from
rolling
from rolling over and sleeping on the baby. We hope to achieve at least 18 hours in a 24-hour span, so that still gives her some leeway to, take a bath, have her bathroom breaks, and all that. And that is why we would like the other members to come in and help so that she can also rest. Yeah.
Tell me something. Sometimes a baby is due or born at the same time,
Yes.
but then they are underweight.
Yes.
Can kangaroo help in that case?
Yes.
Hey.
Yes.
So what will happen this time?
Because the baby who is born small is compromised. A baby who is born on time has fat stores, has ability to feed by themselves. They can suckle on the breast until they are full. They have a normal sleep cycle.
Yeah.
A baby who is born small, even if it's on time, still suffers some of the disadvantages of a very small baby. They are not able to control their body temperature very well. And that's, in fact, traditionally, that was the first reason kangaroo came into play, to keep the baby warm. That, you don't need a heater, you don't need and it came as a poor man's intervention. And for a long time, it's been seen as a poor man's intervention. But it's increasingly been shown that it is not a poor man's intervention, it's the future. Even the rich countries are trying to emulate and bring kangaroo care into their units, because it's been shown to be a lot more than just warmth. That a baby in kangaroo position sleeps better, away from the harm of the incubator, away from being, an incubator is very mechanical. The baby is kept away and the mother can only see the baby through the glass, and only so and so can visit. And they are put on a scheduled feeding timetable. So it looks prestigious, but it's unnatural.
Yeah.
But when you take this baby, put them in a kangaroo position, they sleep. They feel the mother's heartbeat. They feel warm. They produce an hormone called oxytocin. I'm sure you know about oxytocin. It's a feel-good hormone. It's a hormone of love. It makes the baby feel wanted. The mother feels in touch with the baby. And because of that, there are other extra benefits that have been discovered. Like, these small babies are less likely to forget how to breathe, because when they stop breathing, then they feel the mother and they start breathing again. And so you use less medication. You use less monitoring, so then you need fewer staff to watch over these babies, because mom is there all the time. The mother breastfeeds better. The baby being there makes her produce milk more. And so there's lots and lots of benefit. And that's besides the family benefit, that she gets to go home sooner. She gets to live her life a lot sooner than she would if she stayed in hospital.
All right, very interesting. In fact, I was thinking, these husbands who complain that their babies are letting out shrieks at night and waking them up, maybe kangaroo is the way to go, because you're assured the baby wouldn't be letting these cries out at that point.
Yeah.
But Bella, and Dr. Ali says it was a poor man's, situation first, but now it's becoming, widely accepted. And I'm just thinking, is it the right way to go, particularly when you talk about the number of children we're losing in places that are far-flung, like West Pokot, where you don't have dispensaries anywhere, or in a distance of about 10 kilometers or something like that? Is the kangaroo mother care way to go in places like those?
I think I'll tell you a very interesting, so in Bungoma, I have met different parents who have gone through the kangaroo care. It's interesting to note the kind of myths that went around. And these are parents who live very far away from health facilities. So in places like Bungoma, for example, when you give birth to a baby that's that tiny, then they actually call them rats. So to them, a baby that's that small, like 700 grams, for example, is not a baby. Right. So mothers were even embarrassed to show the baby to, like people are coming to visit you, your baby, the baby is too tiny, you're embarrassed. You'd find places where, like some fathers would, want the baby dead, because this is an embarrassment to them. So with kangaroo mother care, or rather kangaroo care, it actually helped people embrace it more. And it's interesting because what we have done in places like Bungoma is to allow mothers who've gone through this kangaroo to spread the word and become champions. It then becomes possible for the communities to demand. So when you go to hospital and you deliver a small baby and you saw your neighbor have the same baby, then you know that it's possible for you to actually ask for kangaroo care. But you also have, you see, like in places where you don't have, like hospitals that are far away from people, then you have what we call community health volunteers. Or you have birth companions, what we now call birth companions, who used to be traditional birth attendants. So these traditional birth attendants are people that we have converted to become birth companions. They no longer deliver babies at home. What happens is that they walk with you as a mother through your pregnancy, and as much as the hospital is far, they will ensure that you go through your antenatal clinics and then deliver in hospital. And if your baby is preterm and you start on kangaroo care, you go home, they are able to follow up. So then it becomes an answer that's within the community as well. That then becomes easier to demystify the myths. And we've seen fathers in Bungoma embrace kangaroo. We've seen mothers, yes. So right now, even the number of preterm babies dying in Bungoma would be much less than what we have in Nairobi. And that's the reason why with the success in Bungoma, we actually, thought scaling up in Nairobi and then to the rest of the country. So it's actually something that, a practice that can be embraced by different mothers across the country.
Fantastic. Victor, your wife is in bed, obviously, after the cesarean section, and you have twins. How are you juggling between both?
Yeah, it was very challenging. I have to accept that the fact that it was a very long journey. Because here comes where I have to look for after the children and after their mother as well. So I just had no option but to just balance the two. I am the one to take care of the mother, to take care of the children.
That is what I want to know. Taking care of. And I'm talking about, because this kangaroo care, is it possible to have two babies at the same time?
Of course.
Yes.
So were you carrying them both?
I was carrying them both.
At the same time?
At the same time.
I think there's one of the pictures that was shown where it's actually possible to have...
To carry both?
Yes, both at the same time.
All right.
Yes.
So, ulikuwa na wabeba na nini?
Okay, venye nilikuwa na wabeba. Si nilikuwa nawafunga tu na leso kwa kifua. Saa moja pande hii, mwingine pande hii. Saa nawafunga tu, mara nyingine nasatembea nao tu, lakini most of the time
hospitali hapo tu.
Kwa hospitali, lakini sasa ikakuja sasa wakati walifika ile kiwango ilikuwa natakikana, ile kilo ilikuwa na, because I was told to lazima wagain weight fulani. Then from there naweza pewa ruhusa niendelee na kangaroo back at home. So wakati nilikuwa nyumbani sasa, it was been very very easy now, because kwa nyumbani sasa ni kazi ilikuwa rahisi. Yes.
What?
And it was,
Yes,
it was actually very interesting when I first met Victor. So I met those babies when they were that small, and Victor was in the hospital. He was actually the first father to ever do that in Mbagathi Hospital. And it's very interesting because Mbagathi Hospital then set up a room for fathers to do the kangaroo because Victor would go into a room.
Oh, he was the
women.
Okay.
Yes, and women would feel shy naturally because kangaroo is skin to skin, so you have to bare your chest. And so you can imagine having, and that's been one of the challenges of kangaroo scale up. that we would like the fathers to do that, but you cannot naturally mix the fathers and other mothers who they have to bare their chests and have the baby skin to skin. But because of having a separate kangaroo father care room, Victor was able to do that. And he took leave from work and he was there and he did kangaroo.
How long did you do it at Bagathi?
At Bagathi? At Bagathi I stayed for close to 3 weeks, around 3 weeks.
Doing this daily?
Yeah, daily.
Yes.
You'd go home, shower, come.
In fact, I was not even going home. Sasa it comes to sasa nilikuwa naishi tu hapa Bagathi sasa. Mimi nilikuwa naishi tu hapa Bagathi.
Where?
Niliishi hapo tu sasa.
In the unit.
Like ulitafuta nyumba hapa karibu.
In the unit. In the unit.
Room. Ya mimi na wife yangu sasa tu.
Oh yeah.
Sasa mimi nilikuwa nao tu hapo. Kwa nyumba nilikuwa naenda kidogo sana. Sikuwa naenda kwa nyumba. Sasa mimi nilikuwa tu hapo, naoga hapo, nakula hapo, kila kitu nilikuwa nafanya hapo.
So then now you go to the estate kukaa na watoto na sasa na bibi, and you have to continue with how long did you do it?
The one thing I like with the kangaroo is that watoto wanajitoa peke yao, si ati wewe unawatoa. It is a point where wanaanza kureject hao wenyewe. So when you see them starting rejecting the process, I called Sister Kayumbi, kamuelezea mbona sasa wanakataa. Sasa akaniambia hapana, hao ukiona wanakataa hao washakuwa watu wakubwa sasa, wachana nao. Sasa iwe hapo sasa wako sawa. They rejected by themselves. Sasa ikifika time yao wakisha feel sasa wako sawa, hao wenyewe wanajitoa, si ati wewe unawatoa.
You know, John, kangaroo care is bought from the kangaroo, the animal that gets its...
That's the pocket.
Yes, and the baby stays in the pocket. And how do you know that the baby is ready? You jump out.
It jumps out.
It jumps out. It's ready. And it's the same thing that happens with babies. The day they just don't want to be kept there anymore, then you know they are mature. They are able to maintain their temperature. They are able to stay.
Fantastic. I think it's time for you to demonstrate to us now about kangaroo care. You have a dummy baby there.
Okay, yes. So I have a dummy baby. Unfortunately, this baby is a little big. Not your typical premature baby.
This one is not premature.
So that might prove a bit challenging, but all the same, I find it very important that we need to see what this is about. So I'll stand. Yes.
My cameraman can stick with you.
Yes. And of note is you do not need any resources to do kangaroo mother care or father care beyond what you use day to day.
Shuka ya kawaida.
Shuka ya kawaida. There are things you can get better, but if it is not available, that does not stop you from doing kangaroo. So we will take this baby Anne as an example. Now a premature baby is usually very flat, flabby. They don't fold up nicely like your normal baby who's come on time. So then you need something to hold the baby in position, because otherwise you'd have to hold the baby with your hands throughout, and that can be quite tiring. So for me, I have this strap. If you don't have this strap, don't worry. You can still use your normal lasso and fold it into a triangle and still use the same. The only downside is that the knot can be a bit uncomfortable when mom wants to lie back, and so they put it on the side. But the important thing, there are 3 components of kangaroo care that I'd like to demonstrate. So one is a kangaroo position, and that's what I'd like us to look at in this demonstration. Then there's a feeding. And then there's a discharge, because this is not going to stop in hospital. We want it to continue at home. So here we have our baby. This is my wrap. This was developed in South Africa. So they call it a thari. And we can borrow this. But if you don't have this, don't worry. Your lasso will work just fine. So I want to put the baby on my chest. And it's skin to skin. So this baby will be naked with a diaper. And we'll need a hat on the head. You may or may not have socks. That's fine. So I'll first tie this knot. See the way I've put it? So I'll first tie a knot behind my back. Make it as firm as possible. Then turn, pull it up. I need to make a pocket, like the kangaroo. A pocket for the baby inside. So then I tie a knot so the baby doesn't slip through. And I'll make it double this time. Okay? So now this is my pocket. Okay? Then I take my baby nicely. Remember, I want my baby.
Yes.
Baby feels comfortable when they are flexed, when they are handled with care. So then I take my baby nicely. This is a dummy, so please don't worry when she resists. Okay? Her legs should be folded up, nice. Okay? And then I pick her up. These legs should be folded up. Okay? Then I place her on my chest. Okay? Turn her head on the side. So this one will not.
Obviously, that will not.
And then pull my wrap up.
Okay.
So let me just bend her legs to show this. Okay? And with a preterm baby, this upper edge will reach the baby's ear. Remember that the baby is still, the head is not steady, so you can't leave the head out. Okay, so I turn her to the side, and there I have my position. If it's twins, then I'll put one on this side.
Okay, and the other one?
And the other one on this
on the
side.
other end.
And then have somebody help me.
Okay.
But once mothers learn how to do it, they do it by themselves.
Oh.
They don't need anybody to help them.
To help you tie the legs
Yes.
to the back?
Yes.
Okay.
So kindly
Maybe
help
Bella
me,
can
Bella.
help you?
Yeah. So then I tie it behind my back, firmly, and then pass the strap, and pass the strap. So this strap will meet this strap here.
Okay.
This keeps the baby firm. Even if I carry water on my head in the village, the baby will not fall, and I have to let go of the pot to catch the baby. Even if I want to cook, I can cook. As long as I don't put the baby too near the fire.
Okay.
If I want to wash my dishes, I will wash, and the baby will not move. Okay?
Yeah.
So then I do that. My baby is nice and safe.
Wow.
I can move.
Yes.
I can do everything I want to do. Yes.
And for the next 12 minutes, you will have that baby there as you sit there. Obviously,
Okay.
to see
Yes.
how that works out. But it's got an interesting process, really quite interesting.
Yes.
So what is the ideal time? Because obviously, particularly when it comes to Nairobi and other areas, obviously, we have working mothers.
Yes.
How long should the process last? The kangaroo mother care.
The minimum period should be an hour.
An hour.
And an hour, because that's the length of time it takes for a baby to have one complete sleep cycle. Remember that we want the baby to sleep better.
Yeah.
And when you've just fallen asleep and somebody startles you, it doesn't feel very nice. So you want to keep the baby for at least 1 hour. But there's no maximum, as long as you can.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How about the length of time? I'm talking about because normally in some of these places, the maternity leave is 3 months.
Yes.
So what happens in a situation like that when you have to, how long should the baby stay,
Yes,
under kangaroo
in
mother
this,
care program?
in this. And that is why we need buy-in, so that we can support these mothers. Let them have longer leave. If a mother gets a baby who is 28 weeks, weighs 700 grams, that baby is going to be in the newborn unit. Typically, they will take about 3 months in the newborn unit to gain weight. That's already the mother's maternity leave by law. So then what happens to this baby who's just going home at a weight of 1.8 kilos, needs kangaroo, until they're 2.5 kilos? So we need the law to support us on this. We need legislation to protect these babies. Because...
And perhaps, Bella, because from Save the Children, you're able to do advocacy. Number one, the laws we have in this republic, particularly focusing on lactating mothers and, maternity leave and stuff like that. Number one, are they friendly? And if they're not, what are you doing as an advocacy group to ensure, number one, that children like this that are born prematurely, are not negated just on the table of this is how things are done. Structurally, this is how things exist. Yeah.
I think I would say we are slowly but surely getting there.
All right.
Because the first part of it is the fact that we already have buy-in from the national government to scale up kangaroo mother care. So that then means that preterm babies are already recognized as special babies, or preterm and low birth weight babies, as special babies that need that extra time. So you have hospitals like, say, for example, Pumwani, Mbagathi, have already set up a special unit for kangaroo care. That is one step.
Yes.
When it comes to issues around the labor laws and all that, it comes down to, yes, the national government, but also to individual organizations. You find like organizations like Safaricom, for example, even Save the Children, we give 6 months maternity leave.
Yeah.
So that flexibility then allows for the mother to actually take care of preterm babies. But I would say that with the move and universal health coverage being one of the big 4 agendas for the president, would be very nice to ensure that preterm babies are included within that pack. And then with that, should actually come the bit around ensuring that mothers get at least 6 months maternity leave, because that then would allow for the babies who are about 700 grams to be taken care of. But I would say we are making good strides towards that.
All right. Fantastic. Victor, watoto ulikuwa unabebea kwa nyumba ama kuna wakati ulikuwa unatoka nao nje kidogo?
Most of the time nilikuwa tu kwa nyumba.
Oh, ulikuwa kwa nyumba. Kuna wakati ulitoka na wao?
Kidogo sana.
Kidogo. Watu wakijua ulikuwa unabeba watoto wako.
You should know Victor is actually a champion.
Yeah.
He got mocked by his fellow men.
That is how I'm
He should
driving.
tell you. He should tell you.
Driving.
He should tell you what his fellow men told him.
Wanaume walikuwa wakwambia nini? Victor amekaliwa siku hizi ndio anabeba watoto. What was it like? Yeah.
You know, I remember one day my friend was calling me a new woman in town because I was doing the new woman in town. But to me it was just, you know, hata kama walikuwa nasema nini haikuwa ati inaniuma. It was just normal because when you call me a new woman in town, I'm not a woman for that matter. Yeah. I am a man. Yeah. What I was trying to do is that I was trying to save my children. So whatever you called me, that was none of my business. Yeah. Yeah, they called me very funny names, but hazikuwa zinanitisha sana. Chenye cha muhimu nilikuwa natekea watoto sasa.
Yeah. Did you get to a point where you say, surely, of course with the mockery that you're getting, like, kwani nilijitumbukiza kwa nini? Did you ever?
No, I took them.
You never give up on your children?
Hapana. To me, they were very normal. Zilikuwa very normal to them.
Yeah.
And that's why I say Victor is a very bold man.
Yeah.
In places like Bungoma, I know a mother whose husband sent her away from the homestead.
Yeah.
So they came, talked about kangaroo care at the hospital. The father even attempted to do it. When people started mocking them when they got home, the mother was actually...
He had second thoughts.
Yes. So the mother had to go back to the hospital. And the babies were already... So the mother went back to the hospital. Then the mother-in-law, because they were also twins, went together with this mother and helped them. The woman almost went crazy, actually, because she couldn't imagine that it's because of these babies that I'm actually being chased out of my matrimonial home. As we speak, obviously, the wife is back home. The father also went through counseling and all that. Yeah. But for Victor to have taken all this and still be able to continue with the kangaroo care, for me, I think was very, very impressive.
Ulienda counseling after toto wametoka kwa nini? Ulienda?
Counseling? Yeah, nini?
Actually, that's the first question most men will ask. Yeah. What will my friends say? Yeah. What will people say? Yeah. Because it's
So you're simply saying the biggest tragedy to this program ni wanaume? And taking it up. And
not even wanaume. There are men who are willing to do it.
Okay.
But it's what the rest will say. What will my mother say? You know, the mother will be like, what kind of a man are you? Huh? These are women things. There are some cultures where a man doesn't even handle the baby in the neonatal period.
In African culture, mtoto, mizigo yake, ni kazi ya mwanaume
kutembea nyuma ya Exactly. And here we are asking that they actually carry this baby bare-chested. Skin to skin. So it's societal. It's not men per se. They may contribute, but it's societal. Yeah. I don't blame them entirely because it's from a position of ignorance. Maybe through this and many other fora, we will be able to demystify and help them understand that it's...
Somebody's daring me to try that kangaroo thing. I mean, this is a
Why not? Shall we try?
I'd like to.
It's dummy. Well, maybe when we have a real one, we'll try. But Bella, tell me about the success of this program. You've rolled it in about 3 counties. There's Busia, Bungoma, and
Nairobi now.
And Nairobi County now.
But also...
How about the other 44?
So that's why the national government, I would say... we've got great buy-in from the national government, because with the success in Bungoma County, then moving on to Busia County, and then to Nairobi County, was actually courtesy of donors. So we had UK Aid, we had GlaxoSmithKline, we had Challenge Innovation County Fund. And these donors were the ones who helped us, you know, with the money that we needed to actually work with the county government. Now, as we speak, it's being rolled out in 21 counties. It's been rolled out in 21 counties. Yes, I know we still have many steps to go, but the fact that we, Save the Children, are not in all the 21 counties shows you that the government is actually very willing to ensure that it's scaled up. And the beauty about it is that besides being rolled out to the 21 counties, Dr. here will tell you that there's already I think a kangaroo mother care guide that's being utilized across the country in different hospitals. We have, I think, different hospitals that are now taking it up as an initiative to actually set up kangaroo rooms within their various hospitals. And besides that, there's a guideline as well. So with those steps being taken, I'm sure that there will come a time when every hospital within Kenya and every health facility will actually have a room that's got we'll have a kangaroo care room within the health facility.
All right. Tell us, because you said anybody can do this KMC, Kangaroo Mother Care, and now, courtesy of Victor, it is a KFC, Kenya, Father Care. But tell me something, what are these direct benefits of the mother administering it and not another person?
And not anybody else. So that pertains to one, feeding. That kangaroo greatly improves a baby's feeding, both their digestion and it also helps the mother make more milk. Mothers who are struggling, and many of these mothers are very stressed, having a baby born early. She has to keep a 3-hour cycle, like you'll see in many of our hospitals. Before she falls asleep, she has to be awake again to go and express milk and feed this baby. So many of them end up without milk. And in an earlier forum, we said, for instance, our facility, sometimes by the end of 2 weeks, the mother just can't make milk, and you have to top up with formula, which we really don't want to because we want to breastfeed this baby. But with kangaroo, their milk production goes high, up. They make a lot more because they are relaxed. Remember I talked about oxytocin? That's a hormone that lets down milk. It relaxes the mother. It also relaxes the baby. And sometimes these babies don't digest milk very well. And for weeks on end, you might not be able to feed them much, which delays their growth. But babies on kangaroo have been shown to digest a lot better. They are not stressed. They are not, like I told you, having this machine arm around them and people just touching them with gloves and pricking them all the time, and they feel the mother. They sleep well. Their body becomes tuned to digesting milk better. So, yes.
You know, my director is asking a very interesting question. Is this the perfect way to create a bond with a child?
Yes, it is. And babies who've gone through kangaroo do much better. Even 3 years, 5 years down the line, there are countries that have been doing this for 20 years. And developmentally, these children are way ahead of babies who are raised in the incubator. They are way ahead. Their learning ability, their social skills, their response to stress is much better than the babies who are kept in the incubator. Imagine being kept in an incubator for 3 months, 4 months.
It's a long time.
It's a long
As
time.
it zooms the entire night and day. It's quite traumatizing for a baby, for that matter. But there's a better way, and this the kangaroo mother care system. Guys, time has run out and we need to wind up. But I want to give this opportunity to Victor. Talk to men out there, like those ones in Bungoma who are running away and they need counseling. Like from the steps you have walked with your children, because you have walked literally with them to the point where they are today. What are the lessons you have learned? What would you want to tell men?
Yeah, what I would like to tell men outside there is that they should embrace this thing called KMC. The one lesson I learned about it is that it gives you the direct, and you bond with your child naturally. And that creates that.
It doesn't have to be enda kwa daddy.
Yeah, it doesn't. Yeah, all those. So what I would like to encourage the men outside there that this is not a women affair. Just be a man enough, take care of your family, take care of your children.
Fantastic, very strong. Bella, your last word, we need to wind up.
Well, I think for me,
Yes.
I would want to just appreciate the government for taking it up and, you know, like helping to roll out in the 21 counties.
Yeah.
My take would be to ensure that within the universal health coverage, preterm babies are included therein. And then to ensure that in the next, we've been doing it for the last 4 years now as Kenya. So I'm looking forward to a time like maybe in the next 4 years, we will have rolled it out to the entire country. Yeah.
Ah, fantastic. How do we get to save the children? Because it's also very important because as pioneers of this, one may need explanations or, you know, enhancement for that matter. How do we get to save the children?
Sorry, just say
The
that again?
organization in itself, yes.
So Save the Children is an organization, it's a child-focused organization. We focus in Kenya, we focus on ensuring that children have a healthy start, we focus on ensuring that children access learning, and we focus on ensuring that children are protected. So for us in Kenya, we are based in Westlands. Usually we are there on all social media platforms. I bet with the county government, we work with them very closely as well. So if you want to reach us, if you check us out on you know, the different social media platforms, you'll definitely be able to reach us.
All right.
But I would say that even with Kangaroo Mother Care, we haven't done it alone. It's together with other partners like UNICEF as well.
Yeah.
So we cannot take credit as Save the Children for just having done it entirely ourselves.
But maybe you're more local. Anyway, Dr. your last word as we wind up.
Kangaroo care is the future.
Yeah.
It's natural,
Yeah.
it's affordable, it's cheap. It doesn't need anything.
Yeah.
And it helps us bond with these children right from birth. So it's definitely something to embrace.
All right.
Incubators have their place, but they are not everything. Yeah.
Quite fantastic. My director Maurice wants to try it, but you can try it once we are off air, because obviously we have run out of time. But thank you very much, Bella, Victor, and Daktari for joining us tonight. Indeed, quite an interesting program here. And for anybody watching out there, at least it has been proven from what you have seen, not just being told, that it's one of the safest places and one of the safest methods to use, number one, to bring up a child who has been born prematurely, and even for anything, for you to bond with your kid. My name is John Jacob Kioria. Good night.